Presenting the CW Crew.
Hey everybody, Jon Foss, Alexa Score, CW Twin Cities. We're talking with entrepreneur, rapper, filmmaker, but you probably know this guy from the Minnesota Timberwolves, Troy Hudson. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so what's going on in your life right now?
Pretty much a lot. Just getting back into the basketball community over the last couple of years, doing a lot of training, a lot of coaching, and raising kids.
Awesome. Well, take us back, your basketball career. How did basketball become your thing?
Well, since I can remember, I played basketball. They said whenever, as a kid, when I saw a pregnant woman, I would run up to anybody that's pregnant, I would run up to their stomach and yell ball. So I guess...
Hopefully this was pregnant people and not like...
Yeah, exactly.
So that, it was in my genes. And then, I started playing at a young age and just fell in love with it. I played other sports, but basketball was the one that I just really gravitated to.
And after college, you actually went undrafted. Was it just your love for the game? What kept you motivated through that process?
My love for the game and confidence in my ability. I left school early as a junior. I had two, great seasons at Southern Illinois University, led the conference in scoring. An undersized two guard, which I would have to play the point guard in the NBA, was one of the major reasons why I didn't get drafted, because at that time, you had to be a point guard if you're 6 foot. I always watched the NBA and the pros, and I figured everybody got drafted. So when I got there and I kind of understood the role I was taking and what I was going through, I started, thinking to myself, like, this is a pretty cool role because this is unconventional. So many people here are drafted, and there are players that are not drafted, but no one knows about them.
I feel like a lot of these reasons are the same reasons I didn't get drafted.
So. Everything that I do, I want people to understand the role that I took and that they can do the same thing.
So how did you make the transition then to actually making it to the NBA?
I was the only undrafted player that made an opening day roster, and it was with the Utah Jazz. And it's amazing how I made it, because only reason why I was given the opportunity, John Stockton had went down. And that was the first time in his career that he had ever missed games. And he went down, he had to get a knee scope, and he was out for 2 months. And I actually beat a second rounder out that they had drafted in the second round. I outplayed him, and I made the team, and I was able to stay with them for 2 months.
Very cool.
So you were with them for a couple months, but then you kind of jumped around a little bit in your 11 years in the NBA. Talk about some of the other places that you played.
I played in my first team after Utah was the Los Angeles Clippers. And we had some pretty good talent, but the organization at that time was the Clippers, the old Clippers.
Yeah.
And then I left there and I went to Orlando Magic, which Doc Rivers was my coach. I got a great opportunity there. And then I left there, came here, was here 6 years, went to Golden State and played 10 games before I got injured again.
And when you played here, it seems like that's kind of what most people remember about your career, because you had such a great career here in Minnesota. You're friends with Kevin Garnett, and you guys made it to the Western Conference Finals, probably the highlight of the Timberwolves organization as a whole. Tell us about that time period and your relationship with Kevin Garnett.
That was a great time period. That's one of those things that, like you said, people know me from that. So when I walk around or I'm around the city, people are always like, that time period, it brings joy to people. It brings joy to me too, because we had so much fun in that time here in Minnesota. And building a relationship with KG is one of those things. It's like, he was the superstar, but you wouldn't know that he was a superstar. He didn't carry himself like that, and he always made sure everybody on the team and in the organization was treated well. He never had that big ego to make you feel like he was unapproachable. So he made the transition, because when I came here, he had played with an all-star in Terrell Brandon. And so overnight, Terrell Brandon didn't play for the Timberwolves again because he hurt his ankle. So for me to come in, a guy who came from Orlando, who was a sixth man in Orlando, to step right in and then play with a future Hall of Famer, sometimes, future Hall of Famer may look at me like, I don't know if this is going to work. He never did that. He always said, we're going to do it. This is going to work, and play your game. He always said, play your game, and he was one of the reasons why I was so successful here.
Do you have any favorite moments with KG on the court or off, like fun stories or just something that really sticks out in your mind?
The 2002 playoffs when we played against the Lakers, and I think I averaged like 25 in that series.
Laker killer, right?
Laker
Is
killer.
that where
Yeah,
the-
exactly. That's where that came from, the Laker killer. I think that time, that whole season, but then specifically that series was when we really came together because we were like a 1-2 punch, and it was like the 1-2 punch that nobody ever imagined. Because at the time Wally was here, but Wally had that season he had an injury-plagued season, so he was up and down, so he wasn't his full self throughout the whole year. So I stepped in, and it was like, who is this guy? And the thing about it was, I'm telling you, like KG was like, most superstars are like, no, I'm the superstar. I need to get all the attention. He was like, man, play your game.
And it sounds like you guys are still pretty tight, and which brings me to my next question: when can we all get together?
With KG?
Yeah.
As soon as I can catch him. He's like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
Catch me if you can.
But you guys do still keep in touch, and
Yeah, definitely. He comes to the city. He pops in and flies back out. But yeah, we definitely still stay in touch and talk.
It seems like you're really involved in the community as well, getting into coaching at all different levels. Tell us a little bit about the teams that you coach.
Well, I coach a girls' charter team, Eagle Ridge Academy, which this is only the third year of the program. The first year of the program, I went to tryouts. They didn't know I was going to be the coach. They didn't even know who I was. They probably wasn't born when I was playing, but they had never played a game before. So I had to show them the game. I had to teach them the rules, and we went from second to last the first year to runner-up in the conference the second year. And then last year we moved up a couple levels, so we had a rough patch last year, but we're building the program over there, and it's been a lot of fun. And then last year was the first year I started coaching girls travel, 6A for Edina, and just working with those girls, and it's just fun to just give back and teach from a different perspective. And now I'm coaching Twin City TC Takeover, which is a 9th grade boys program. This is the first year of their boys program. They've had a girls program for 4 years, so I'm ushering in their boys program. So I like to take over programs that are undrafted,
Right.
underdogs. That's me. That's what I like to do. I mean, it's easy to go grab the top talent and then sit on the sideline and act like I'm Calipari. I mean, that's easy. Like, I like to go where people don't get the opportunity to really get good coaching and give them confidence and just make them better people.
on top of all of the coaching, I met you because you were making a film called Three to Flee.
Yep.
And while you played in the NBA, you were a rapper. Mm-hmm. You had albums. Number one, how did you get into the art world? And tell me how you got into music, and do you still make music? And then also an update on your film career.
Growing up, I always just liked different genres of music, so I just started in college. Just started writing to instrumentals. That's when you can go to the record store and buy the tapes with the instrumental on one side and then the music on the other side. So I used to buy those and then start writing to industry beats, and I just found a passion for it. And then of course recorded an album. I still record to this day. I do gospel hip hop now, taking it to a different level. 43 years old, can't be doing too much different now. So, I mean, it's just always been a passion. And then with the film, I've always been a writer. I've always been a person who imagines things. I used to have a script in my head, and I would tell a person a whole movie in my head, action figures, everything, like I had it down pat. And I said, one day I was like, let me just put this to paper. And Three to Flee was the movie that you're in. Mm-hmm. It was the first movie I had ever written. And I got to writing, and not to feel myself, but I was like, this is pretty good, Yeah. I was like, I want to go ahead and put this out. And like always, I'm gonna always go back to underdogs and undrafted. I wanted to use all talent from the Midwest and from Minneapolis.
I thought it was because he thought I was the best actor in the world.
I mean, of course, that too.
Okay.
But and that's what I'm doing now. I'm still writing, and I'm trying to. I want to bring there's already a film culture here, but I want to bring something like Hollywood here, something like Atlanta here, to where there's films going on and people know about it. So that's one of my goals, is to make something happen in the Midwest.
Speaking of, we mentioned me missing out on not getting drafted, but probably should have, and just my skills. Alexa's got some skills too, and we kind of wanted to see how your skills are holding up.
All right.
So we were thinking maybe a little 2-on-1. We'll see how you're holding up.
We can go 2-on-1, we can go 2-on-2. I got a secret weapon.
Okay.
So yeah.
Let's check it out.
I think we can handle it.
All right, so Troy, this is the secret weapon, right?
My secret weapon, tell them who you are.
Troy Jr.
Are you ready to play?
You don't get a chance, man.
Are you gonna pass the ball?
I'm gonna be passing your ball over the block after you shoot.
What you got to say about that?
All right.
You like
All right,
that?
let's do this. I got a little.
But I think this is the best Troy in the family right here.
That's right.
This guy's got the skills.
The CW crew on the CW Twin Cities. DJ Bonix, Alexa Score, and Jon Foss. Like, follow, subscribe to, and love the CW crew.